Hey family, welcome back to the channel, Laugh, Gags, and Gossip. So we have some good news here. I reported earlier the FBI is now involved in this case, but we also have some better news. Not only is the FBI involved, but the case has been upgraded to a murder investigation. Now it's considered a murder homicide. So any parties involved will be facing murder charges. I've been hearing different people debate as to whether or not if the coroner doesn't classify it as a homicide or death by murder, but clearly this is what is being reported by the local media. So Charlotte woman's death in Cabo is being investigated as killing. State Attorney General in Mexico. So there's also been some debating as to whether or not the FBI or the U.S. has any jurisdiction in Mexico. So as we reported earlier, the FBI is working with their local authorities. So now you can see their state attorney general, they're recognizing this as a murder. So whether it be in the U.S., whether it be in Mexico, the parties involved will be facing murder charges. That's the first thing. So we're just going to read a little bit of this article because a lot of it, most of you already know. It talks about the questions in the homicide of Shanquella Robinson. She died on the trip while in Cabo with her friends. And just for those of you that don't know, her dad actually spoke earlier. He did an interview on a local Charlotte station, and that interview was on Facebook Live, so you can Google it. I'll try to find the guy's name again because honestly I apologize, but I have forgotten. So it says the agency presiding over the case in Mexico. Okay, because remember at first the case was closed and they were saying that, oh, well, the people, it's in Mexico, so the U.S. has no jurisdiction and these people could get off. So let's look at this again. The agency presiding over the case in Mexico confirmed to ABC News they have begun a femicide investigation to Robinson's death. Femicide, murder of a female, okay? The State Attorney General's Office of Baja California Sur, the state Cabo is in, tells Channel 9 it maintains the lines of investigations to collect more evidence to achieve the accurate clarification of the events without ruling out any hypotheses. On Wednesday, Channel 9 obtained Robinson's death certificate. It lists the cause of death as several spinal cord injury and atlas luxation and says she died within 15 minutes of injury. Alcohol poisoning, which her family said Robinson's friends blamed on her death, is never mentioned. In the box, now this is really critical, in the box asking whether the death was accidental or violent, the medical examiner wrote yes. There you have it. This is a full-blown murder investigation. So all you naysayers, hey, we've been praying. After the video surfaced, I don't see how any agency could say that she died by something other than a beating, a brutal beating. So we see, let's repeat it, in the box where the death was accidental or violent, the medical examiner wrote yes. Now I did hear, or actually I read somewhere, that there was going to be a second autopsy. So I'm not sure whether or not this is a result of the second autopsy because from what I understand in the initial one, it was ruled, that it wasn't due to, they didn't rule it as a, like a homicide. But now, it looks like that has been overturned and some new information. And so now, yes, it is being considered a homicide. Then on Thursday, the Attorney General's office sent ABC News a statement adding they've also started an investigation into her killing. So we have the Attorney General's office, we have the FBI, and we have the local authorities in Mexico all working together to get this resolved. And I don't think the clowns involved in this are smart enough to outsmart all of these agencies working together. and so many people praying to bring this to justice. So they're going up against some big hitters. You guys are going down, and I'm understanding that, and this case is taking some twists and turns. So there's a lot of new information that's surfacing. There's supposed to be a second video. I haven't seen it. People are talking about it. I don't know if it actually exists, but allegedly there's a second video where another young lady, and I don't want to call her name until I know more about it, who was actually filming as well, took a Shanquella, and she apparently grabbed her and flipped her over, which could have been that fatal flip, which may have broken her neck and injured her spine. So that video has not surfaced yet, but people are talking about it. So sooner or later it probably will, because as they start to zero in on these guys, they're gonna start talking and turning on each other, because there's video footage. So we already have one suspect, period. So when other people are, when they're gonna start calling people in saying, okay, well, if we can't get some real details, do you want to go down with her too? We don't have you on video, but you were there. And then with the cell phone and the way that they can recover data, people think that they can delete things, but they have tools. They have there's a forensic tool. I can't think of it, but there are tools. There are tools where they can actually go in and piece together, like if you've tried to delete and scramble data, there's a tool that kind of puts all of that together for you in the pixelation and all that stuff. So whatever they think they're doing, they have some wonderful tools that will undo whatever they tried to do. Okay, so currently none of the friends who went on the trip are facing charges, but the FBI and all of the agencies, they definitely have people of interest. We already know that because the internet done made some people of interest. So if we done figured out some stuff, they have as well. One of the main people that everybody has been talking about is that Dejanay, or whatever that chick's name is. I don't even want to remember her name. Dejanay Jackson. Apparently she's in hiding. Some people are saying that she claims that she wants to tell her story, because once we hear it, we will see that, I don't know, that it's not what it appears to be. I don't believe any of that. I don't know what she could think that we possibly saw, other than her pummeling somebody nude, and she had on clothes, who was not trying to fight back, who was defenseless. So I don't know how you could spin that. Even if there was a argument earlier or whatever occurred, the brutality in which she displayed, that's just a beast. That is a sick, disturbed individual, period. I have never in my life been involved in no mess like that, nor I've never been attacked like that, thank you God, nor would I ever put my hands on somebody like that. You'd have to be trying to take my daughter's life in order for me to do something like that to somebody. Whatever happened, whatever she was, so that shows you this woman, it's some really sick people in this world. Anybody who watched that and anybody who saw that, if you have that amount of anger in your heart for anybody, go get yourself some help so that you don't end up like this young lady, because that means you are really twisted and really sick to be able to do something that brutal. And then the people standing around filming, laughing, cheering it on, y'all are sick too. And I honestly feel like they ought to be locked up. They're classifying this as a femicide investigation. So let's read what they're saying. The Attorney General's office in Mexico sent ABC News statement Thursday, adding they've also launched what is known as a femicide investigation. Michael Lettieri is an expert on femicide in that region of Mexico. He says the outcome will dictate the early stages of the investigation. It's supposed to be investigated in a very particular way that's sensitive to gender dynamics of the crime. Interesting. So they're even taking a more critical view at, it's not just a homicide or a murder. They're categorizing it in a way that hopefully they will pay more attention to different details that might make this a higher count of murder. That's what I'm thinking. Like if they're classifying it as a femicide, that must be an even more, a higher count and if you're watching this, jump in the comments and please educate me if I'm wrong, because I'm making an assumption, but that's what I'm thinking. The fact that they're noting it like this, that they're saying it's a particular type of a homicide, so it's going to have different penalties. Essentially, gender causes for violence have to be ruled out before it's classified as a homicide. Lettieri says attention on this case could help it be resolved. That it is an American means there will be additional pressure on the Mexican government and the state government to resolve this case, and I think that it will likely lead to a resolution. So this is, this is what I was thinking in the beginning when people were saying, oh, they have no jurisdiction in Mexico, what can they do? First of all, Americans yield a lot of power. I don't give a damn how much of a recession we in. We still got a lot of power in places. I know people say our country is crumbling and all of everything, but when you go to some of the neighboring countries, we still Americans and we still have a lot of political power. Number two, there's too many, I just did a story last week on 3 black people that died in an Airbnb in Mexico. And not to mention that, there was another one early in the year, another woman that died as well. So it's just too many of us dying over there. What's the problem? Is there something more sinister? Are we being killed? Because the other cases, it was 3 people that died of carbon monoxide. And then there was a case down the road from that case where some more people died. And then people drinking things and dying. Too many of us are going there. In all these cases that I'm talking about, we're black people. They're going over there and they're dying. If we decide to stop going to Cabo or to being tourists in Mexico, that will put an impact on their economy. If people are afraid that they go to Mexico and they may never make it out, the tourism for black people is going to drastically go down, okay? So that's why I never feared that Mexico would work with the Americans. If nothing else, that gives us that helps Mexico in some kind of political clout that they don't need down the line when they want to barter for something. Of course, these are black folks. Are y'all crazy? This is not about a Mexican person that they don't want to turn over to the U.S. They don't give a damn about saying, oh, yeah, oh, sure. We'll work with you because they'll need a favor down the line. Come on now. Think about it. This man says it. That it is an American means there will be additional pressure on the Mexican government and the state government to resolve this case. It's America versus Mexico. Come on. So here's a statement from the Attorney General's office Wednesday. The State Attorney General's office of Baja California Sur carries out the field and cabinet proceedings to clarify the events in which a female person of foreign origin lost her life on October 29th in a beach club in San Jose del Cabo. It is reported that Saturday, October 29th at approximately 6:15, it received a call from a public security member who reported that in a house room of the Fundadores Beach Club area in San Jose del Cabo, there was a woman without life. State criminal investigation agents went to the scene where the first investigations were carried out under the corresponding protocols. Experts from the Directorate of Forensic Services carried out the proceeding of the place, looking for clues that will be attached to the investigation folder. The PGJE maintains the lines of investigations to collect more evidence to achieve the accurate clarification of the events without ruling out any hypothesis. So there is a petition going around, Justice for Shanquella Robinson, and it is on Twitter. It's under the change.org. It's under change.org. So if you're interested, you can go look there. I'm not promoting it because I'm not really sure. I need more information, but I'm just letting you know there is a petition out there. So you can go do your research and see if it's something you want to report. I am not endorsing this petition, okay? So don't go over there signing up for something and then saying laugh, gags, and gossip told you to do it. Now you want to sue me. Don't work that way, okay? But we do want to put pressure on these various organizations to continue to bring light to this case until we get a resolution and until we get about 4 or 5 people behind bars or all parties involved. Anyway, Thank you for your time. I'll see you on the next video. Please jump in the comments and let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like the video, you guys, because I will be up. I will be staying on top of this. Y'all know I work, so I do what I can, but I will be trying to get as much information and updates as I can. Please hit the like button, share and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.